back, everybody. So today we're going to have the next tasting of my Warrior Centennial Maris Otter beer. Now, I did do a 2-row version of this, so technically this is the third Warrior small batch that I've done. 2 pounds, 8 ounces of Maris Otter, 1 hour boil, 0.15 ounces of Warrior at 60, 0.25 ounces of Centennial at 10, 0.25 ounces of Centennial at 5. 3 days into fermentation, 0.25 ounces of Centennial for 7 days. So this was bottled on 12/14, 8.6% ABV. Now, if you did watch, I'm scooting over, this is driving me crazy. If you did watch the 2-row version, that was around 7%, a little 7.5%, I think. So you could say Maris Otter has a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more sugar in it. US-05 ate through it a little bit more. That's what drove the ABV up. Now, is this going to be a well-balanced beer? I do not believe so, because there's only one malt, and as we've seen with some of these other ones, there's not enough backbone. Now, this is 5 months old, so it's going to be, the taste might have changed a little bit, but that's also a good part. Has it got better? Has it got worse? Has it stayed the same? So let's go ahead and open this. Good hiss, good smoke coming out of there. I'm pretty sure I do not watch the videos of the older reviews before I do the new ones. But I'm hoping this still, I'm pretty sure it tasted just fine in the other reviews. But if you go back to the very first tasting of this, I'm pretty sure I mentioned with Steve, when we first started this series, Steve was working with Maris Otter and I was working with 2-row, and his beers were a lot better than mine month 1, so 30 days after putting them into bottles, so bottle conditioning. But the next month, so month 2, his really went downhill and mine went up. So there could be some, yes, brew it, drink it right away, versus brew it, maybe let it age 2 months, then drink. Now, do you want to do that with most IPAs? Probably not, but hey, you never know. Let me try and get some of these bubbles off here. We'll take a look and come back. White, translucent head, almost coming up as a lighter colored orange. In there, color, we're not, tons and tons of bubbles. I don't know what's wrong with these glasses. Kind of cloudy. I'm taking that is the Maris Otter malt. It does look clear from what I can see. I can make out the light box, but almost like a lighter burnt orange color. In the center, it is a little bit more red than on the outside. But yeah, nice color. It looks like a Maris Otter. Let's go ahead and smell. Now, most of the time, from Centennial, I get more of a lemon, grapefruit, citrus, maybe some bitterness. Now, mixed with this Warrior, I did not write down the IBUs. Nope. I did not write down the IBUs, so I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, I didn't write down the IBUs, but with that Centennial, I do get some grapefruit rind, so that could up that perceived bitterness. So if the bitterness was 60, maybe it's a little bit more perceived, maybe 70, 80, because of that grapefruit rind. But let's go ahead and taste or smell first. I get more floral, like a malty sweet floral. Maybe a touch of citrus, almost like a slight honey citrus in there. The honey, I'm guessing that's coming from it being 5 months old. Yeah, but if anything, the floral sticks out a little bit more than anything in this. That sweetness from that Maris Otter, I'm guessing, is really amped up. For this being an 8.6%, I'm surprised there's that much sweetness in there. I did overshoot the original gravity a lot. Beersmith called for 1055. I hit 1070. So and this wanted it to ferment down to 1012. I hit 7 bricks. I don't know what that is. So I'm surprised I'm smelling that much sweetness. I guess it does make sense if I'm thinking right on the first couple that we did with Maris Otter. It was more of like a sweeter orange than just orange. So I'm thinking that Maris Otter is going with that. I'm not sure yet what the Warrior's doing to this, but I'm guessing we're going to get more bitterness. Let's go ahead and taste. Definitely bitterness in the back. Nice, sweet. You could say there's a touch of floral citrus in there, but when it gets to the back of the palate, there is some bitterness in there. Not as much as I was expecting. I was thinking this was going to be way over, but the aftertaste does bring a lot of bitterness. The sweetness from the Maris Otter is there. It's still in there. It almost tastes like this thing could have attenuated over 10. My guess is the US-05 got drunk and just stopped. Yeah, I like the malty sweetness, citrus, a touch of floral, almost throughout the whole entire palate until the very end. You get some bitterness. It goes down. That bitterness comes back. You get some of that rind, grapefruit rind sweetness in there. Like my taste buds are just like I can feel them. But I think that Maris Otter is covering up a lot of that bitterness. Um, there are some beers where the IBUs are so high, and I do get that on my tongue, but it seems like that Maris Otter is covering that. Now, I don't know if that's because it's 5 months old. You'll have to go back and watch the first tasting of this because I don't watch them before I do the next one. But it seems like that Maris Otter sweetness is just taking out a lot of that bitterness in there. I guess now in my mind, I'm thinking if I made like 150 IBU beer and switched out two row for Maris Otter, if the perceived bitterness of the Maris Otter would be a lot lower in that one versus like a two row, because I do believe in this one, like I was saying, that Maris Otter sweetness is covering up that bitterness. And the only way I guess I can kind of look at that, coming straight from my head, is if you look at like a M43 or Boss Tweed, the bitterness is higher in those than in most New England IPAs, but I think the perceived bitterness is lower, and I think it's because of the sweetness, and it's almost coming true in this, I believe. Uh, Maybe I'll do a side by side between this one and the Centennial version, just to go through them and see if I can. I'm still not sure what that Warrior's bringing to the table. I think it's the bitterness in this case, but in the two row version, I don't think you have that much sweetness, so I don't know what it's covering up. But yeah, I think this is a solid beer. Would I like to see the flavor profile bigger? Yes. Maybe some Centennial and Citra, I'm just saying because that's what the other one is. But Centennial and something else just to try and lift it over that Maris Otter sweetness would probably help. But yeah, solid beer. So if you enjoyed this video, check some more homebrew videos out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.